So hello everyone and welcome to Games of the Week. My name is Nobody and this is a matchup between Zaid and Jibatong. I choose these games based off some of the statistics I can see based off the games on AoE Zone, and they usually end up being pretty good games. If you've never seen this series before, I bet most of you have. Whether or not these will be the best games of the year, that waits to be seen, as I haven't seen these games before. But yeah, I haven't streamed for 2 months. If you're on my YouTube channel, you probably noticed I haven't been making as much content. It's because I recently moved to a new place, had to set up all that stuff, and I also started medical school, which apparently takes up a lot of your time and commitment. Didn't do so hot on the first exam, so that's why you didn't see me stream as much, but I'm trying to make time for streaming again. I was watching the Escape Champions League finale, which is, by the way, the best stream I've ever seen as far as production quality. It's a shame that we won't be seeing too much more from them. But those games really got me inspired. I wanted to see more of this as well. There are some, it's been revealed what the changes to some of the civilizations are. That gets me excited too. So I really wanted to cast some games. And as you see today, I do like choosing a lot of civilizations we don't normally see in tournaments. We have a Saracens versus Byzantines matchup. I hope you guys appreciate that, because I definitely am excited. I don't see this matchup often. You see a lot of, some matchups you see very often. You see like the Huns a lot. You see Aztecs, Mayans. You don't see Byzantines and Saracens too much. Let's talk a little bit about the Byzantines. Byzantines are a well-respected civilization. They're about like that mid-tier. They have some strengths. They have some weaknesses. I did a strategy guide on them. Please check it out. It's my favorite video. That's why I always shout out it whenever there's a Byzantines player out there. But it's on my YouTube channel, Age of Empires Coach Nobody. And yeah, I really love the Byzantines because of their play style. Now, what are some of their bonuses that they get? So, Freetown Watch, that's nice. Buildings, extra HP, that's also a good defensive bonus. But their big one is probably Skirmishers and Spearmen are 25% cheaper. So I really love the Byzantines Trash Rush, where you build tons of Skirmishers and Spearmen. Doubt is famous for this. I don't know if we'll see that this game. Pretty good versatility with their tech tree, but notably no bloodlines. Advanced in the Imperial Age is also 33% cheaper. So that helps to flesh out their tech tree a little bit. Zaid walling up a little bit towards the right side. So Byzantines, well-respected civilization, but no bonuses that are like super OP, especially on Arabia. Saracens are probably the second least respected civilization on Arabia, next to the Khmer. As far as their win rate is concerned, that's what the data shows. But it's always said that Saracens, they're not a bad civilization, they're just a civilization that require a unique playstyle and that players haven't really figured out. Well, it's not exactly true. Look at this little boar micro as I'm talking about the civilizations. Looks like Zaid was unsuccessful, lost a few HP on his scout, as Jibatong's luring in some deer. So the Saracens, some of their bonuses, their market is cheap, and it has a really good rate. It's a really good bonus, and it's underrated. I'm not going to talk about some of the league balance changes, but they're going to get a little bit stronger, hopefully, in the next patch. Tons of walls from Zaid. This is so weird for Arabia. Their unique unit is very strong, but hard to get to because, again, they don't get any economy bonuses. Notably, Mamelukes don't get an attack bonus versus Cataphracts. That's kind of one of those things you just have to learn. Looks like Jibatong didn't find his sheep, so that's why he lured in extra deer. And aside from those bonuses, the Saracens get a bunch of useless bonuses for Arabia. Their archers have an increased attack versus buildings, which is a little bit nice, but it's not great. And then the cavalry archers have extra attack versus buildings, which doesn't matter, really. We don't see that used often. And then their transport ships get some bonuses, but we obviously won't see any transport ships. So those are the bonuses for the Saracens. The best thing about the Saracens is their tech tree. They have one of the broadest tech trees in the entire game with good knights. They don't go up to cavalier, though. Good archers. Really, anything you'd like. The Saracens can do it. They just can't do it very well because no economy to back it up aside from that market. So a little bit of a different game. We're seeing 3 militia from each player. Jibatong is going to go for 3 militia and looks like a fast castle build. So I can tell that from how many walls he has. He'll start seeding up a ton of farms. This is a very unusual build to see in Arabia nowadays, especially with these kinds of walls. Both these players are around 2K, I would say 2K1 rated, so they're definitely expert players, but they are probably not on the level of the Viper or MBL or some of the other guys you know, but they are definitely expert players. They'll kick my butt anytime. Jibatong is going to go for more of a men-at-arms rush. He has not walled up. He's planning to feudal rush after this, and that's going to be some trouble because he needs to defend from this, and then he needs to push out and do some damage to Zaid, who is currently fully walled. Oh, hello, Gloken. Thank you for that kind comment. I appreciate it. Let's see if the scout's going to go down. Militia's going to be microed back, but he's just hanging out a little bit too much. But that's going to be a cleanup. Very good engagement for Jibatong. He's done step 1, which is clean up the drush. He is now safe for the time being. However, Zaid, is he thinking about going up to the next age? He kind of... This is not the best build from Zaid. You'd like at least 600 food in the bank if you want to do a fast castle. And currently Zaid doesn't have that. He needs some more farms, but for more farms he needs more wood. And he's not making any archery ranges, so Zaid has not had a great build. Now we have men-at-arms coming out. Jibatong has sensed that Zaid is not going for any more aggression. I don't think he's actually scouted it with this scout. It's a good time to check the line of sight. That's the wrong player. Here we go. Has not actually scouted it, but he can sense it. Senses the late up time, so he's going to make men-at-arms. Going to send some villagers forward. This is what you're supposed to do. Zaid has finally clicked up to the next age, but he has no military buildings yet, and this build is very much hampered, not only by the Byzantines' lack of economy bonuses, but by all these palisade walls, which cost so much wood and also cost so much villager idle time. So if I was Zaid, this was definitely not the preferred strategy on this map. Because of these walls, because of the position of the gold, I don't understand the strategy at all, but it might work out anyway. Jibatong's going up with the first tower. It will get up, and he will break through these walls in a fairly short amount of time. There's no way you can wall behind with so many of these walls. Luckily, Zaid, again, as the Byzantines, has a little bit extra HP on these palisades. 250 is the normal. I think now it's 275. As soon as he hits feudal age, it's going to bump up to 300. Jibatong is 2K2 plus. I'm not exactly sure what his rating is. It's definitely 2K plus. What is official Herculano 01? The name of the channel or me coming back? Or something else? Alright, so Jibatong has gone through. Here comes a tower from Zaid. It looks like it will get up. So that gold should be defended. If these palisades get up, this whole bottom side is going to get locked down. This top side is now locked down. Zaid is officially safe, but is he in a good position? That might be another story. So Zaid is going up with his first archery range. He still doesn't have the food to go up to the next age. To go up to the castle age. So Zaid is not looking like in a good position. If he could click up to the castle age first, then that will definitely help him out. Now Jibatong, he's been able to get the double bid axe upgrade very early. Still doesn't have horse collar, but that definitely helps his economy. Although he is spending quite a bit on stone. Doesn't quite have a surplus yet. So right now, I would say Jibatong's in a better position. Going to start with skirmisher production. We have an archer to deal with the men-at-arms from Zaid, but that's a good call from Jibatong to go skirmishers in this situation. It'll help counter to the archer. Right now, Zaid has to 100% keep out these men-at-arms. Those men-at-arms do so much damage versus palisades. Does Zaid know about the house bug? Which house bug is it? Is it hopping through with the tower, or... I'm not sure I know about the house bug. Here we go, Zaid gonna try to wall that up, and another tower coming down. That's a devastating tower. That'll take down at least 3, if not the corner of this 4th farm. And these farms do have a good amount of food on them. Men-at-arms are getting dangerously close to taking down this house with the skirmishers behind to prevent the repairs. That tower is going to prevent any further repairs. These men-at-arms are getting in. We need to see emergency walls. Look at Zaid's economy. 1 lumber camp only. All these villagers bumping into each other. This looks like it might be a short game. I really didn't like the strategy choice from Zaid. Building so many huge walls on a very open Arabia map with a forward gold and going for a fast castle with a bad build. That is a recipe for an early good game. And Jibatong doing the right thing. He realized that Zaid was late up to the next age, and he went forward with men-at-arms, a few villagers, and really put on the pressure. But here comes another tower. This tower... Oh! Oh! That villager went down to the tower right here. You gotta delete the farms. I don't know why these farms are still up. There's no way he's getting these farms back. So if you don't delete the farms, the villagers, as soon as they're done with the farm they're working on, will go on to the next one. Right now, villager count is 31 to 40. We have a huge, huge lead from Jibatong. Zaid, however, has reached the castle age. That can be a huge advantage for him. A siege workshop will help to clear up these towers, clear up this army. He's just got to keep this army out for long enough. But his economy is hurting. We have crossbow coming in. He's gone for a counterattack, but is he going to find anything? We have some stone walls behind these palisades. That's a smart decision from Jibatong. He's already taking that stone. And as well, if you take too much stone as Saracens, you could just sell it off. Because that market is so good. Looks like this tower might not get up. He's going to use the skirmishes to shield. They have a good pierce armor. I don't think Zaid's going to fall for it, though. He's manually targeting these villagers, and they are very weak. That's not worth it to try to get that up. It's 75%. But he won't lose any more villagers. Now Mangonel's out. Now the tables have turned a little bit. And this gold is actually rangeable by crossbows. That is not good. Could be worse, though. You could be a different civilization. Oh, it's open! This is a game changer. This is absolute. Oh, look at all that blood. That's funny. This is absolutely a game changer. This is where he can recoup some of those villager losses. Right now, he's 9 villagers down, but it's only 8 villagers down now. And Jibatong is still in the feudal age. He's going to have to make some skirmishes to defend from this. Skirmishers do okay against crossbows, but crossbows in this situation will do fine. Skirmishers going to move around the bottom. They need to come back to defend. Now it's looking like Zaid has the advantage. He's going to take the score lead right about now. Look at Jibatong's economy. Half of it has come to a standstill. Still isn't able to clean up these crossbows. Nice micro from Zaid. Oh, another free villager right there. 2 more in the back. This game is about to even up. She's going to luckily get away at the sacrifice of these 2 skirmishers. Men-at-arms going to come in. He's not going to do anything. Or is he? Oh, he might actually kill the crossbow. He's... One hit, one hit. Oh, he did kill a crossbow. Wow, how rare is that? These poor villagers trying to wall themselves out. But that raid did immense damage to Jibatong. Jibatong hasn't been able to collect gold. Now his economy's all messed up. Jibatong only 1 lumber camp. All the villagers bumping into each other. Half the farms are idle. He's going to do what he should have done and put a stone wall right in that gap and put a tower up on that gold. Now, unfortunately, there's no follow-up from Zaid. Zaid's economy wasn't doing too hot, but that's why he has the extra town center. So he's going to go with a more eco approach, just worry about taking out these towers. And by the time Jibatong gets to the castle age, Zaid should have a slight eco lead, as it is 36 villagers versus 43, but that will diminish very soon. And for the most part, we'll be seeing a mostly even game. It looked like it was all Jibatong in the beginning. Then we had this huge raid from Zaid, and it looked like he was going to take over the game. But now Zaid is all walled up. He's got his economy in line. I'm sure he's going to be using that Saracen market. Going to actually transition to knights. So the skirmisher knight combo can be pretty powerful. Hey, thank you, Samaji. I appreciate it. Always look on AoE Zone. AoE Zone has everything you need. AoEZone.net. That has everything related to tournaments. And this is good. The skirmishers got within the range of the crossbows. That really shouldn't happen. Now the crossbows are trying to go within the minimum range of the skirmishers. And as you can see, these 2 skirmishers are not firing. And Zaid is going to be forced back. Zaid has seen the stable. Oh, he has not seen the stable. Oh, maybe he saw the construction of it? Hard to say. So knights, if he goes knights, that's a big investment. Going knights and skirmishers, that's going to take a big toll on your economy. Right now, villager count is dead even. but will be in favor of Zaid unless Jibatong adds another town center. We have Bosaw coming in. That's going to be good for Jibatong's economy. Still no Bosaw from Zaid. No horse collar for either player. That's very unusual in this kind of game. And we don't have any of the AM players playing either. Zaid going to go with Monastery. So I assume that's to counter some of the knights of Jibatong. Both these civilizations get very good monks. And now Zaid looks safe in his base. Jibatong looks safe in their base. Zaid gaining a slight economy advantage. However, Jibatong has the map control currently. Let's see what he does with it. And it looks like this game will at least head to Imperial Age. Now let's talk a little bit, since we have a little bit of a lapse in the action and both players are probably going to be booming up. There's the second town center for Jibatong, so he's not going to be getting too much further behind in economy, although he is a little bit behind. Let's talk a little bit about what the late game matchup would look like between the Saracens and the Byzantines. So Byzantines, skirmishers are always good. They're always cheap. Of course, the Saracens might like Arbalest, so the skirmisher from Jibatong might be a good counter to Arbalest. Neither of these civilizations get particularly good cavalry. I don't really expect to see the unique units too much, as I don't see what their purpose would be. The Cataphract, of course, anti-infantry. The Mameluke, anti-cavalry, but surprisingly not very good against Cataphracts. So I'm thinking like Arbalest, Siege Ram. Arbalest, Siege Ram for the Saracens, probably. And maybe some Hussar. Hussar are really good at raiding. And then for the Saracens, probably Skirmisher. Siege Ram Bombard Cannon would be a big asset to the Byzantines, since they get access to gunpowder. And also Hussar, but their Hussar will not be as good without Bloodlines. So kind of similar army compositions. I wouldn't say either has an advantage, however the Byzantines should be up earlier with their age up 33% cheaper. Let's see if this raid does anything. It doesn't look like it will. First horse collar of the game coming in from Jibatong. It's a very important upgrade. 3 town centers from Zaid. 3 town centers from Jibatong as well. We have a 10 villager advantage for Zaid. I think that Jibatong has to do a little bit of damage in order to get back in this game. Let's see if these monks get any conversions. It would be horrible if they did, because now that knight can go straight for that mangonel. And that was not a good play from Jibatong. Hung around for too long. Those monks got a great conversion. Look at that value. Took over one knight and killed a mangonel. Now Zaid making the scale barding armor upgrade himself. Going to transition to cavalry. Zaid always practices as Byzantines. It's the civ he might have the most practice with. I don't know these players that well, but Byzantines are a fun civilization to play. They are very fun. I like to see them more often in competitive tournaments. Good Mangonel Micro from Jibatong. What he wants to do, though, is actually make some eco damage. Now, let's take a look at where Zaid's gold is. This gold is going to be running out, or it might be pressured. We have another gold in the back. You got to think that he's seen this, right? Yeah, he's seen it. So he can go to that gold in the back. But it's not nice to have this gold pressured. So right now, 13 villager advantage for Zaid. But now his economy's getting a little bit idle. He's getting some damage. Let's see what happens with these knights and these monks. Skirmishers are getting in, and they should be able to kill a few monks. 1 down. 2 down, but here comes a ton of camels from Zaid. Saracens of Byzantines, best camels in the Castle Age, being 25% cheaper, even though they don't get bloodlines. And let's see how they do. We have 1 conversion going down for Jibatong. And is there going to be enough here from Jibatong? I think the camels are going to be overwhelming, and now all these camels get to clean up the mangonels. What a strong play from Zaid, going into camels as the Byzantines. Really nice defense. Jibatong was not able to get enough conversions, was not able to defend against that. Skirmishers, they're very weak to any other unit that's not archers, and that includes camels. So great play from Zaid. Now we got 2 emergency monasteries coming up from Jibatong. The monasteries will help convert the camels. Sanctity coming up. all the monk upgrades. Jibatong on full defensive, and this is not where you want to be, 11 villagers behind. Let's see if this one will go down. Yeah, last second, so 2 conversions, that's good. And Jibatong's going to want to make sure that these monasteries don't have camels right outside them so the monks can come out. Halfway to 2 more conversions. 2 more conversions, and I think Jibatong should be fine. Zaid now making the light cavalry upgrade to help counter the monks. That is going to be super strong. This army composition for Zaid is working out beautifully. If he just starts spamming light cav right now, what is Jibatong going to do? You could do pikemen. You could do camels of your own. I think camels of your own is probably the best option, but I don't see it right now. Here's another stable from Jibatong. And I think Jibatong's going to go camels of his own. If he goes camels, he should be fine. Wouldn't have to worry about the light cav so much, but if not, that's going to do a lot of damage. Neither player particularly close to going up to the next age quite yet. 2 more stables from Zaid. Zaid is going to go all out on these light cav. Oh, Bombay Gypsy, thank you. I appreciate it. It's not a strategy you see too often because of the meta change. But hopefully we'll be seeing it more in the future. If you like that kind of build, Black Mamba, I have 1 video on my channel with Black Mamba, but Black Mamba loves that build. He loves the forward spearman, skirmisher, tower kind of play. So you could always check out his videos on AoE Zone. I'll probably cast some more of him in the future. Here's a castle from Jibatong. He's been saving up that stone, and he's got some scorpions and mangonels in there. Where's that army from Zaid? I said he was going to hit the gas on light cavalry production. Was I wrong? I just don't see the army. But there's so many camels here. But there's so many monks at the same time. You really don't want to get that many conversions. This is a big moment. Are these monks going to get all these conversions, or are they all going to die? It's going to be one way or the other. Is this castle going to go up? It's 70%. The castle will go up. But who's going to win in this engagement? I don't see too many blue camels here. That means that the camels definitely won against the monks. Let's see. Some mangonels are going to go down, but now that castle fire is taking down these camels. More or less even army trade, I would say. But that castle is up, as this was a slow reaction from Zaid. Jibatong finally getting wheelbarrow. Has really neglected his eco upgrades. And now it looks like Zaid trying to get a castle of his own, probably in this area, to help prevent any further damage or raids. This town center is well in a very vulnerable position. Jibatong going to make best use out of his forward position. Going to add some archer ranges right here, right in front of the castle. Now, it's important for Zaid to be able to make sure to secure this right side and to raid from this right side, because he doesn't want Jibatong to get the map control with this castle. Now, Jibatong going to use that Byzantine... that's Saracen. Zaid's going to use the Byzantine cheaper up to the Imperial Age. However, Jibatong just has a better economy. Maybe use that Saracen market. And both players will be up to the Imperial Age at around the same time. And I would bet you Zaid is going to plop down a castle. We'll probably see a trebuchet war. However, gotta really pay attention to these hills. This castle is on top of the hill, which means any trebs that come out of it will also be on top of the hill. Oh, this is bad! This is bad if these light cav can pick off these monks. Light cav's only gonna get 1 monk. I love the addition of Scorpions. Scorpions, such an underrated unit. Now both players kind of relaxing, a little bit calm before the storm. Both players gonna hit the gas on army production. Gotta think about this trebuchet battle, have to think about raiding. Now Zaid going with a really forward castle, wants it up right now with so many villagers. Oh, this castle just barely out of range. But that castle is going to be on top of the hill, which is so important. That means a trebuchet, if it parks itself there, can fire on top of the castle and be on even footing in a trebuchet war. However, might want to put a little gate right there to protect it. So thumb ring coming down. We will see Arbalest from our Saracen player. That's not surprising. That's their strongest Imperial Age unit aside from the Mameluke, which we probably won't see. And Jibatong going to go with Sorry, Zaid's playing as the Byzantines, so we'll pick Arbalest anyway. Still good Arbalest. And Jibatong will probably go with Heavy Camel? I'm not sure. Could go with Hussar. One conversion going down. There we go, both players coming out with trebuchets. No trebuchet quite yet from Zaid, so Jibatong's going to be a little bit sooner. Very important that this trebuchet gets on top of the hill. I think that'll still be considered on top of the hill. So it gets that 25% extra damage increase. And this is such a contentious area. Look at the military buildings right next to each other. Town center on top of the gold, right next to the military buildings of Zaid. This area, not important. No extra resources in this area. But look at this right side. Extra gold, extra stone, extra gold. So this area is extremely important. Right now, Jibatong's army doesn't look too strong. He does have the advantage in the Treb war, getting that Treb out a little bit sooner. I hope, it's really hard to tell, I hope that Trebuchet is on top of the hill. And I hope the same thing for this one. So these Arbalests are very strong. And what is Jibatong doing? Jibatong's doing Heavy Camel. Heavy Camel, I don't think will have much of a chance against Arbalest unless the Zealotry upgrade, the unique upgrade, giving extra 30 HP to camels, is done for our Saracen player. That's when their camels become super strong. But we do have Arbalest from Jibatong as well. So he's doing a little bit of both. Now we have some rams coming out. Capped ram going to be done. These camels can take care of the capped rams, however, a few of them will go down to the castle fire, most likely. And either Zaid was not repairing his castle, that's why his castle is almost dead, or these trebuchets are getting the hill advantage, and these trebuchets from Zaid are not. It's really hard to tell. I'm sure Zaid's trebuchets are not getting a hill advantage. I think Jibatong's are. So that's why that discrepancy. Now this forward area is open to raids. Taking a look at the right side. What a great game we have, by the way. Taking a look at this right side. Zaid is raiding the economy of Jibatong. This is doing great damage. These farmers going down. Food eco, gold eco, limited for Jibatong. But now, Zaid gonna lose the town center onto his main gold. There's still a decent amount of gold on there. 600 gold left. There's a lot of villagers parked on this town center. Gonna want to move them out of the fire. And most importantly, if this town center goes down and these trebuchets go down, this is an easy way to raid Zaid's economy. The castle's still staying up. Just to highlight the importance of having trebuchets on top of the hill, this castle, remember, was a Byzantine castle, had extra HP, and it went down so much faster because of that hill advantage. Heavy Camel's coming to clean it up. Don't have the Zealotry upgrade quite yet. Let's see how they do. They're actually doing okay. Not doing great. Zaid maybe should consider adding some halberdier or some pikemen. So right now, 145 villagers for Zaid. Zaid has a much stronger economy, although he does need to get handcart and heavy plows. So he has a stronger economy. I won't say much stronger, but he has the resources ideally to be able to replenish this. He's got enough gold in the bank for sure. Does have quite a few idols though. Military count 15 skirmishers, 11 arbalests. We definitely have more army for Jibatong. So more economy for Zaid, more army for Jibatong. Jibatong right now spamming into this middle area, wants to take it over, wants to take out these trebuchets. These arbalests still surviving, so yeah, those camels are not too good. Siege ram coming down from Zaid, that's what that extra economy can afford you. Siege ram would be great at absorbing some of these arrow shots as well. Camels don't do too much damage versus rams. They don't have a high base attack. But now it's mostly skirmishers in this army composition for Zaid, and they won't be able to handle the camels. Skirmish is going to try to focus on the arbalest. We need a counter to the camels. Either you need a ton of arbalest, or you need something that will specifically counter the camels. Like pikemen. Zaid trying to bring his army over to the right side. This is a problem. Look at how he's reinforcing. He's going to be having to run straight through the army of Jibatong. Zaid needs to change his waypoints. He needs to bring his army here and then back over to the left side. That is a disadvantage. Jibatong is going straight through the middle of Zaid's base. We don't have any more counter raiding from Zaid. Now Jibatong's expanding out to the right side gold. This area, right now, it looks like it's going to be under Jibatong's control. This castle will help solidify this area. It's going to take over gold, be again another pushing point into the base, and it's on top of the hill. So that'll be very difficult to take out. This whole left side, extremely vulnerable. And now we have this one light cav is going to do so much damage. Even though he's only on 17 HP. Where's Zaid going with these villagers? What can you do with these villagers? Just running. Zaid, 153 villagers. He's actually overboomed. Some of that resource would have been better spent putting it into army production. We have some nobody or T90 farms here. Jeez. Really going downhill for Zaid. I think that Jibatong's going to take this game. He's just got the position. He's got more army. He doesn't have more villagers, but what's the point of having more villagers if they're doing this? All Jibatong has to do, maintain his position, raid a bit. Looks like raiding's a little bit of trouble because there are so many arbalests in this area. But why not raid down the middle area? Arbalests have to be clumped up. They can only be in one place at a time. So that's why Jibatong's going to Hussar. Hussar should be enough to clean up this game. What the heck are these villagers doing? And looking back at this game, so it looked like Zaid was going to go with a clean, fast castle build. Jibatong doing the damage, preventing that fast castle. Then, having a huge mistake, having a hole in his archery range. Zaid doing a ton of damage back. Jibatong having to try to hit his opponent in the Castle Age. Kind of even trades there. Then we took it to the Imperial Age, where Jibatong just had a better army composition. Was able to take this middle area, able to win that Treb War, maintain that position, and have very good avenues for raiding. This is the only bright spot for Zaid. He's got a huge, massive arbalest. What Jibatong should try to do is try to either clean this up or just try to slow things down a bit. Siege rams are very difficult to stop. And Jibatong needs to be pushing in as well. Unfortunately, Jibatong doesn't have siege ram. So he's only going to be able to push in with Trebs. Trebs, of course, don't go as fast. Trebuchets, of course, don't take out as many buildings as siege rams can. Now Zaid going to make a transition to pikemen. They're nice and cheap for the Byzantines, in a hope to be able to stop the Hussar raiding. Unfortunately, what you're really going to want is halberdier, because pikemen don't do that much damage against Hussar, but the halberdier upgrade is an expensive upgrade. A little counterintuitive. Jibatong, I'm not sure exactly where he's from, to be quite honest. One issue with Zaid is he does not use multi-Q. Oh, okay. That's not good. So Jibatong going to try to clean this up. If he cleans this up, that could be game. This is a big advantage. This is the only advantage for Zaid, was this huge, massive arbalest. But yeah, camels and Huss are not going to really do the job. Especially with this nice positioning of Zaid on top of the hill. So we need something else from Jibatong if he wants to clean up these arbalests. Or he could just keep throwing Hussar in there and hope that works. Which it might. Arbalest, meanwhile, moving in from Jibatong. Zealotry finally coming in for Jibatong to make his camels stronger. And it looks like these skirmishers will go down. That Hussar is going to be taking a lot of damage. And this is going to gut Zaid's base. This is the rest of Zaid's base. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, how's Jibatong doing? Both players on healthy villager numbers. Looks like Jibatong is massing up. I think he might be able to take out these arbalests in the next push. So now these camels have zealotry. They're 170 HP. They'll be able to tank a lot more. Fortunately, these skirmishers not coming in. Yeah, that didn't work out too well. But Jibatong taking over the extra stone now. This gold's still up for grabs. And looks like Zaid cleaning up these Arbalest. So Zaid is he's still pushing on the forward part. These Arbalests have not been able to be cleaned up. The siege rams are doing their thing. Jibatong cleaning up the skirmishers on the right side. Jibatong gonna add a town center right there. This is a great avenue to raid. Zaid's done a good job adding villagers back. Hasn't lost too much. Remember, did lose this left side, but it wasn't that important. Were no extra resources there. Now going into super late game, I do like the Byzantines a little bit better because their trash is cheaper. But the Saracens definitely have an asset with their Hussar. Just look at the map right now. It's crazy. So actually, Zaid is going to take out this town center. That means that this whole right side is going to be exposed, as he's able to split the base right down the middle. And it looks like Zaid able to hold. It was so important that he was able to hold this area because so much of his economy is right there. I'm sure Zaid would like to add another town center in this area to secure the stone and the gold. And actually, it's really hard to predict who's going to win right now. Zaid, I thought he was done. I really thought he was done, but was able to make some great plays. Keep his Arbalest alive, use those siege rams, do some counter damage, and eventually hold in his own base. And now if you're Zaid, you have to say it's looking pretty good just because you like your civilization matchup in this late game. And I think one of the big saving things for Zaid was that technology. These siege rams are so powerful. From Jibatong, we never really saw too much siege. I think if he went into siege ram, would have been able to, push down these buildings a lot easier. Pikemen and skirmishers are not going to do a ton of damage versus siege rams. I would have really loved to have seen that from our Saracens player. And is this Lightcap going to get this trebuchet? What a good trade. Another siege workshop coming up from Zaid. Zaid is gaining a lot of momentum right now. What are some of the disadvantages for Zaid, though? Jibatong has access to these extra resources, all three of them. So Jibatong is still going to have a gold income, is still going to have a stone income. In fact, Jibatong is almost ready to have another castle. If he builds a castle right here, it'll definitely help secure that area. That's it, Jibatong is going to lose another trebuchet. These stables should be building Hussar and should be raiding the economy of Zaid, but I just don't see it. Looks like Zaid is not going to get the horse collar upgrade this game, which is unfortunate. Neither player getting the last wood upgrade either, so make sure to always get those upgrades. They really pay off. No more big Arbalest mass from Zaid. Going to be trying to replenish some of these Arbalests, but they cost gold, and gold is of very low availability right now. I think one thing that would be worth to save up would be to get that Halb upgrade. Halb upgrade is 600 gold. I think that might be more important than Arbalest. Because if you got skirmishers and you have Halbs and they're 25% cheaper, all you need is a little bit of siege, and that combo should work out for late game. You could also add some Hussar later on. I think that would be something that's worth saving up gold for as well, and not making Arbalest. You have to be very careful with how you use your gold in this late game. Also very important to get relics. I noticed a few of these are still on the map, which is unfortunate. There's that castle from Jibatong. That castle is good. He could use it in a defensive position, but has chosen instead to use it in an offensive position. I can't really blame him. There's no siege rams in this area to take out the castle. Castle's on top of the hill. Great avenue to raid. All we need to see is one big raid from each of these players, and this game can be over. That villager number can drop, and in fact, look at Zaid's villager numbers dropping rapidly. It's at 85 villagers. Last I checked, it was at 110. And this is going to be a ton of villagers down. If this castle gets up, it's going to be very difficult for Zaid to prevent any sort of raiding, especially with this area being secured by Jibatong as well. Look, Jibatong can raid through this area, through the left side, and through the right side with both castles. And those pikemen are not going to want to get anywhere near that castle. If they do, they'll get shot down. Zaid's going to call it GG. He's dropped to a dangerously low villager number. Can't replenish his army. He's going to lose his army in the front. And Jibatong's going to take this game. That was a very close game. Really hard to tell who would win at the very end. That almost never happens in games. Normally you know who wins. for quite a while before the game ends, but that was very exciting. Jibatong gonna take it, and a little surprised. I thought the Byzantines would have those bonuses with the spearmen and the pikemen and the skirmishers being cheaper. I thought that would have been a great asset to Zaid, but I think really the thing that won Jibatong this game is that map control, is taking over these extra resources on the right side, putting the castles in the great positions, and just raiding based off his map control and his position. Zaid able to go down the middle, but not able to do enough damage. Those siege rams from Zaid were so useful, helped keep him in the game. But this game is going to go from Jibatong. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next one.